The stories of some of our favorite Marvel characters are some of the best parts of the movies, so today I'll be going over the top 10 MCU character arcs ranked. Welcome back to Box Trends, let's get into the video. Number 10, Bucky Barnes. Steve Rogers' best friend since childhood, Bucky Barnes first appeared in Captain America: The First Avenger, and still continues in the role to this day. Ever since Bucky fell off the train in 1945, many fans of the comics knew what was in store. Bucky has suffered through Hydra's brainwashing to dealing with the mistakes he made during his time as a Winter Soldier. Fans saw how much his past life haunted him in Captain America: Civil War, and chose to go back under the ice until he could trust his mind. Bucky then returns as a hero in Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame. Fans will have to wait and see Bucky's arc develop even further in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm a slave to your games. Number 9, Loki. All Loki ever wanted was to be loved by his father as much as Thor was. Loki has been the villain of a couple of Marvel movies, but died a hero in Avengers: Infinity War. Starting off with Thor, Loki was obsessed with power and wanted the throne, and his arc continued throughout Thor: Dark World. In Loki's later appearances leading up to and including Infinity War, showed him as a hero and in his own final words, Odinson, letting everyone know that despite all his differences with Thor, he was still his brother. Loki went from trying to kill Thor in the first movie to being unable to stand the sight of Thor being tortured by Thanos.
I'm honored. Whoa. Costume's a bit much. So tough.
Number 8, Yondu. First appearing in the Guardians of the Galaxy as an emotionless Ravager, Yondu picked up Peter Quill on Earth as a young boy because he was able to fit into small places. Yondu couldn't. Good for thieving. However, by the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, fans saw Yondu evolve emotionally and personally into a father figure for Peter. Comparing his first appearance on this list, it's definitely worth mentioning Yondu, who took Peter on board to help with his crimes and then sacrificed himself to save his son to do something right for once in his life. Number 7, Hawkeye. At the end of Avengers Assembled, some fans were left disappointed that for the majority of the film, Hawkeye was simply one of Loki's minions. In return, Marvel gave him a huge character development in Avengers: Age of Ultron, where it was revealed that he had a wife and kids. Continuing through to Avengers: Endgame, Hawkeye went from S.H.I.E.L.D. hitman to family man and the mentor, to a fugitive in Captain America: Civil War, to be almost completely void of hope and a mindless assassin in Avengers 4. Number 6, Hulk. Bruce Banner has certainly been through his own transformation since his first appearance. Banner got so low at one point that he put a bullet in his mouth, only for the Hulk to spit it out. Banner and Hulk became the Avengers in Avengers Assembled, and then public enemy number 1 in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Banner was also given a love story with Natasha Romanoff that didn't hugely pan out, and some fans weren't a fan of. But once Banner started looking at Hulk as the cure, he created the best of both worlds in a way that ended his ongoing feud with the Hulk and helped him live a fairly harmonious life. Number 5, Nebula. The story of Nebula and Gamora goes way back before they were introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. Since she was younger, Nebula was always bested and tortured by Gamora in combat to her father's pleasing. It was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that audiences fully saw the extent of Nebula's horrible life and the impact it had on her. Fans discovered that Nebula was not just an evil daughter of Thanos, but a lonely, broken person who just wanted a sister. The arc was highlighted in Avengers: Endgame when Nebula interacted with her past self in the third act. Number 4, Spider-Man. First appearing in Captain America: Civil War as a kid from Queens turned friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker was taken under Tony Stark's wing and mentored into becoming someone who doesn't need a suit to be a hero. Peter has grown massively over his 5-movie arc and went from battling super soldiers in airports to alien armies in Endgame. Spider-Man: Far From Home saw Peter come into his own without the help of Tony Stark. You ready to give up? Number 3, Captain America. One of the saddest but most satisfying endings in the MCU was certainly Captain America. Throughout his 7 appearances, Cap has always tried to do what is right, and there have been times when that meant different things for Steve Rogers. In the first Avengers, Steve fought against Hydra, which was clearly the right thing to do. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Steve began to see the world as more gray instead of black and white, and Civil War showed Steve being more selfish as he fought to defend Bucky from Iron Man. Although it's unlikely that Chris Evans will return, Cap managed to set aside his differences with Tony, save the universe, and get his love story ending with Peggy Carter, a character who is present in some form in every Captain America movie.
You know me, you're Steve.
Number 2, Iron Man. Back in 2008, when fans were introduced to Tony Stark, he was a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, and even by the end of the first movie, he had changed. After seeing what his weapons could do, he shut them down and focused on righting his wrongs. After settling down with Pepper, mentoring Peter Parker, and sacrificing himself to save the world, it's hard to imagine the Tony Stark that we saw in Endgame being the same Tony Stark as was revealed in the first Iron Man movie. Number 1, Thor. Thor has arguably had the harshest life of any of the Avengers. He lost his worthiness and hammer in his first solo film before regaining both, but losing his brother. Meanwhile, undergoing a huge personal transformation from a battle-hungry boy to a worthy heir to the throne. Thor, the Dark World, saw him lose his mother and his brother again before losing his hammer again and his father in Thor Ragnarok. Once he learned that he did not need Mjolnir to be a hero, he became the fully fledged God of Thunder and was at the top of his game. But failing to kill Thanos and by extension failing to save his friends from turning to dust put Thor into a pit of despair and in an incredibly dark place, even after all he had lost before. Thor then returns to his strongest form by the third act of Endgame and was instrumental in defeating Thanos. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.